Hello, I'm Andy LeGrand. Welcome to our program. Today we're going to talk about how being quick on your feet can save lives. A sliver of metal embeds itself in a workman's eye. A warehouse worker falls victim to the summer heat. A friend at lunch starts choking on a sandwich. He can't breathe. What do? Well, you do your best. You do what it takes to keep things from getting worse. You perform first aid. You don't need to be a caped crusader like Batman. You just need to act quickly and know your stuff. One day, you may face one of these first aid situations. You may even be the victim. No safety plan is perfect, not even one that includes personal protective equipment. We need to remember that accidents can still happen. Let's start simple. Say something gets in your eye, and your eye's watering won't get it out. Try this. Pull your upper lid away from your eyeball. This should cause the particle to drift down to the lower lid. Then simply remove the intruder with a piece of sterile gauze. Don't try to get at an object that has embedded itself within the eye. Just touching it could dig it in deeper. Instead, calm the victim and gently place a paper cup over the injured eye. Wrap a bandage over both eyes. This will increase the likelihood of keeping the injured eye still. Remember, both eyes move as a team whenever you look towards something. Relax the victim until medical help arrives. If you haven't already guessed, in order to use many of the first aid techniques you will see today, you must know where to find the first aid kits in your work area. Let's look at another common type of injury. If you're working with sharp tools or materials and not paying attention, a nasty cut could come your way. After stopping the bleeding with direct pressure, clean the wound with soap and water. Give it time to dry before applying a sterile bandage. If the cut is serious, or if after a few days it's still sore, talk to a doctor. If you were cut by a rusty object, you should see about a tetanus shot. Even minor burns can hurt like crazy. In these cases, we should turn to cool, clean water for help. Soak the injury or apply ice. Don't try to clean the skin area and don't break any blisters. This will cause more damage. Cover the burn with a sterile dressing. Never apply ointments or salves unless a medical professional tells you to. Most of these coatings can actually make things worse. Water should never be applied if you see open blisters or actual charring. Instead, cover the area with a loose compress and see about medical help. Then there are chemical burns. For these, you must get to running water as quickly as possible. This may even mean a safety shower. Keep the affected area in the stream for at least 15 minutes to slow the chemical's penetration. See a doctor immediately. If a hazardous chemical gets in your eyes, flush them directly with running water, also for 15 minutes. Again, seek medical attention. Stretching our muscles outside their normal range of motion can cause strains and sprains. That's why you should always do warm-ups and stretching exercises before working your body. If you do pull a muscle, though, first aid can make you feel better and will quickly put you on the road to recovery. Keep the swelling down by elevating the injured area. Apply ice for 30 minutes, then remove it for 15. Repeating this cycle on and off will reduce swelling. A fall or other physical trauma can cause broken or fractured bones. If there's a simple break or fracture, that's one where the bone doesn't come through the skin, call for emergency help and comfort the victim. Don't move them unless you're sure this won't make the injury worse. If it's a compound fracture, that's one that causes an open wound, don't try to push the bone back under the skin. Instead, use a clean dressing to stop the bleeding. Watch yourself around accidents where there's blood. You may want to wear surgical gloves to protect against the possibility of some infectious disease. If you feel it's unsafe to help the victim, wait for the emergency crew. Injuries like these that are serious or cause a lot of pain can throw you into shock. This is where your body goes a little crazy, trying to fend off the injury by actually rerouting the flow of blood.
Yo, Al. What's that? No, we don't want any of that. Oh.
It's very important to give immediate comfort to a shock victim, because if the body goes too far with its emergency response, it can actually kill the person. Try to locate and treat the injury that has caused the shock. Keep the victim from getting chills. This will help calm them down. Stay with them until emergency help arrives. Now on to another situation where time is of the essence. When the temperature or humidity begins to climb, so does your chance of feeling the effects of heat sickness. This can bring on anything from exhaustion to cramps, even heat stroke. Heat stroke occurs when we get so hot that we burn out our body's temperature control systems. We are unable to cool down through the normal process of sweating. Call emergency medical services immediately. Heat stroke can bring on brain damage and even death in a matter of minutes. Get the person out of the heat. If possible, soak the person in a bath of cool water. Not too cold, though. You can also use cold packs and a fan if available. Raise the feet to help with circulation. Stay with the victim until emergency help arrives. Don't let your body overheat. Drink plenty of cool water or a thirst aid to replace the fluid you lose when you sweat. And take regular breaks. Many of us eat frequently during our workday, on breaks, at lunch, or when just snacking. But too many of us tend to wolf down our food. You know, a victim of choking can die within minutes from a lack of oxygen. If you see someone choking, quickly yell for help, then perform the Heimlich maneuver. This should force air from the victim's lungs and dislodge the object. Start by making a fist, your thumb on top. Put your thumb just below the rib cage. Grab onto your fist with the other hand and make short thrusts in and up into the victim's abdomen. Squeeze only with your forearms and hands, because applying pressure from your upper arms can crack a person's ribs. Keep going until the object comes loose and the person can breathe again. If for any reason a person stops breathing, have someone phone emergency medical services. That number should be posted for quick access. Hopefully you are trained in rescue breathing, also called artificial respiration. If you aren't, you should know who in your facility is and get them. This trained person will work on the victim until the emergency crew gets there. Remember that if someone stops breathing for just 4 to 6 minutes, the odds of brain damage or death is very high. As we get older, we become more vulnerable to heart disease, and our chances of having a heart attack go up. Since a heart attack may lead to cardiac arrest, that's when the heart stops cold, It's important to recognize the symptoms quickly. A heart attack victim may suddenly have trouble breathing. They may feel a tightening in the chest and experience nausea or indigestion. Their skin may turn pale and go cold and sweaty.
Jack, call EMS. Joe's having some...
Call emergency medical services because there's no time to lose. If the victim is aware, keep them in a sitting position. Make them warm and comfortable. Loosen their shirt collar. Ask if they're on any medication and if you can get it for them. If the victim cannot speak, check for a medical ID bracelet or look for an emergency medical card. If their breathing stops, but they still show a pulse, and if you're trained to do so, give them rescue breathing. If the person shows no pulse, they're in cardiac arrest and in danger of dying. If you're certified in CPR, do what you can until emergency medical service personnel arrive. Rescue breathing and CPR can literally give back life to someone you know. Get certified in these techniques today. Hey, guess what? We're at the end of our program. Let's run down a quick checklist on the subject of first aid. Learn to think and act quickly. Being quick on your feet can save lives. Know the location of the first aid kits in your area. Learn to recognize symptoms, like those for shock, heat stress, and heart attack. Know what situations make it okay to move the victim as well as when it's not. Know when medical attention is called for and how to get it. And one last point. Try your best to find the time to take a first aid course, because what you learn could save a life.